Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Victoria, and I'm head of support and onboarding at PunchPass. And I am so excited to talk to you about how we can work at winning our local search engine optimization strategy, or SEO, and make sure that our businesses are really coming up when people are looking for us, ways that we can get really involved to make sure that we're optimizing the way that we present ourselves online, and kind of setting up our business for success so that Google and search engines are interested in putting our businesses at the top of some search pages and not letting us get lost in the shuffle. So that's that's kind of our big focus today. And today you'll not just be hearing, before we get started, I always like to say, if you have any questions, please reach out in the chat. We'll take questions at the end. If you need to step out or head out, not a problem, because we'll be sending this recording out to anyone who signed up for it. So you're all set there. And now let's go ahead and get started. So I didn't want to just use what I've learned about local SEO and what I can talk to you about it. I really wanted to get some input from an expert. So actually, we have a number of clips here coming up throughout the webinar where I'm interviewing our head of marketing to talk to you a lot about some of where these ideas and concepts come from. So let's meet Deandra, and we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, Deandra. Thanks so much for joining me to talk about how PunchPass users can expand their reach with a local SEO strategy. If you don't mind, could you introduce yourself and let us know what your role is at PunchPass?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Deandra. I'm super excited to be doing my first webinar with PunchPass. So I'm the head of marketing. It's my job to help put PunchPass in front of, the people that are going to need us most. And on top of that, I'm also helping to direct what type of content we put on our website, whether that's blog posts or if that's guides, basically picking topics and information that we think are going to be the most helpful to all of you, and things that are going to help you guys grow and do better in your business.
Awesome. Well, we're so excited to have you here.
Thanks. I'm excited too. This is going to be fun.
All right. So, hi, Deandra. The first thing I got to talk to Deandra about is, what is local SEO? We keep talking about local SEO. We've been promoting that when we've been launching this webinar. And you might have heard of SEO, search engine optimization, but it's a little different when we put local in front of it. So I asked Deandra about that so she could tell us a little bit more about why this is a little bit different and hopefully a little less scary when it comes to how we can apply this strategy to our small businesses. I've heard the term SEO before, but now we're putting the term local right before it. So what really does that mean? How is SEO and local SEO different, and where should our focus be?
Yeah, so I'm really glad that you asked that, because SEO in general could be super intimidating, because a lot of people don't really know how to approach it or where to start. So the good thing is local SEO is going to be super different in that you're not competing for general search terms. So for example, if you were to type in the best Pilates studios, that can mean a number of things to Google, and that's a very general search query. But searches that are specific, and they'll say things like the best Pilates studios in New York or Pilates studios near me. Those are very, very specific local searches. They send signals to Google saying, hey, I need to deliver results that are a little more tailored to somebody that's doing a local search. So they might show information in a map, which is called a map pack first, with 3 to 4 businesses underneath that before they're showing just a regular organic search result. And the cool thing is it can be easier to rank for local searches than it can for just general website searches.
So, so what Deandra kind of explained to me, and hopefully you're getting that feeling, is that because we get to focus on people in our area who are searching for businesses like us, it's going to be a lot easier to present this way. So what does like local SEO look like? So a local Google search result is when you start adding location and making it a location relevant search. So if I look up fitness studio near me, or for instance, I live in Portland, Maine, so fitness studio, Portland, Maine, Google's going to give me a more specific location-based search. And what's great about that is that, again, it makes it a little bit easier for us to compete in that world. We're not fighting against all of the fitness studios out there. We're just going for our specific area. And the goal for Google is going to be to provide the best search results to people who are looking. So for you, it's going to be thinking about like your potential customers who are searching for something in their area that you offer. Deandra mentioned the map pack. So I wanted to show an example of that with a Google search. You'll notice that, 3 different businesses came up. They have reviews. They have different hours set to them. There's a link to a website, their location set on the map. So that's the kind of information that's getting in front of people who are looking for this kind of search, right? They're looking for a fitness studio near me, a Pilates studio near me, yoga studio near me. And how can we make sure that we're showing up in our local area? Because we want Google to promote us. We don't want Google to, kind of pull from anything else. We want to make ourselves look like a really great result for Google to present to these potential customers. So why should we spend some time on this? Why should we bother? What's the point? What's the benefit for us? Because some of us might be feeling like technology is not really my thing, or like I don't have a marketing degree. I don't want to have to pay someone a lot of money to run my marketing. Like it's just not something that we might necessarily feel comfortable with. However, we probably should think about having some kind of local SEO strategy. And it doesn't have to be something that's going to cost a lot of money or take up all of your time. We can do some really basic things to make it successful for us, because 80% of like a household's disposable income is spent within 20 miles of their home. So people are spending, their extra money. They're spending that close to where they live. And so these are the kind of people who hopefully will spend some money at our businesses, especially if you are, if you have an in-person studio. These are your people, and we want them to spend that money with us and not our competition. How are your clients finding you now? How do new people find out about you? Because, there's a lot of different ways that could happen. People might hear from a friend who goes to your studio. People might talk it up. Someone might be walking downtown and see your sign. But when you think about, the kind of the first step before people do much of anything, when they're looking to like, I really want to try this new thing, or I'd really like to take a class like this, probably the first thing they're going to do is they're going to Google it. Or maybe they're going to go on like a social media search. So they might go on like Instagram or Facebook to look up a business like that. But again, they're using a search engine and they're looking up businesses like yours. However, they're probably not going to use your name specifically. They're just going to be like, where's a good yoga studio near me? And if we're not showing up, we're missing out on all of those potential clients. And what this also might be happening is our competitors might be showing up before us. And they might be showing up pages before us, which is definitely not where we want to start. We want to have at least like an even chance of getting their attention. But more importantly, it'd be even better if we have a higher up ranking on Google. So Google showing us before they're showing some of our competitors. And, hopefully, maybe if we've been feeling a little like, ooh, I don't want to touch SEO, that sounds scary, maybe our competitors are doing that too. And if we do spend a little bit of time on it, a little energy, we might be able to get a head start. And additionally, when people are looking for fitness studio near me, yoga class near me, CrossFit in Portland, Maine. They're looking to spend money. They're looking to take a class specifically for that thing, for that search. So we've got these people who are looking to spend money, looking to take a class, and we want to make sure we're getting in front of them. So again, hopefully these are a couple good reasons to check out having a local SEO strategy, because we think it can be really beneficial. So the first thing we're going to get into when it comes to some tools and some ways that we can make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success, and that is going to start with NAP. And that stands for name, address, and phone number. And luckily, when I was talking to Deandra, this was the first thing that she thought was going to be really important for an SEO strategy. So let's hear a little bit more about NAP from Deandra. So Deandra, if you were designing a local SEO checklist for a Punch Pass user, what would be the number one thing on that list?
The number one thing would definitely be your NAP listings. So in SEO terms, that stands for name, address, and phone number. And here's why. So it's Google's job to serve users the most relevant, up-to-date, and useful information. Because if it doesn't do that, then people aren't going to use it. So it's in Google's best interest to make sure that it's serving you the information that you're looking for. And they do that in a couple of ways. So Google likes to look at 3 signals. I mean, they look at a lot of other signals, but we're just going to focus on 3 just to make things easy right now. So they focus on relevance, distance, and prominence. So for relevance, that means if you're CrossFit gyms in San Antonio, Texas, it's not going to go send you to a craft store, because again, that wouldn't be a good user experience. I'm looking for CrossFit gyms, not craft stores.
Right.
And same thing goes with distance. So if you're looking for CrossFit gyms in New York City, New York, because that's not what you're looking for. And then prominence is, does your business have a pulse? So they look at things like Google My Business listings, social profiles, and they want to see if, one, do you exist? Like, do you have a profile on social pages? Is there information in that profile? And then, are you using that profile? Are you posting regularly? Are you responding to comments? Are you Google looks at those things, and they also want to make sure that all of the information is accurate. So we're going to kind of bring it all back to the NAP part of your business: name, address, and phone number. Again, because if somebody is searching for your business in your area, and let's say you changed your hours, or you changed your phone number recently, or you moved locations, and that's not accurate across all of these different either listing sites or on your social profiles or anything that's really pulling information on your business, Google is going to sit there and say, I don't know how accurate this is. I don't know if I should serve this information to people that are looking for it. Let me see what other businesses have. I mean, honestly, all their information together, and I'm going to serve them before I serve information about your business, because we don't know how accurate this is, and that's not a good user experience. So when you're thinking about local SEO, it's really important to think in the context of, is this a good user experience? Am I making it very difficult for people who want to use my service? Or am I making life difficult for them? Am I making them work for this information? So that's always a good lens to kind of examine local SEO under.
Awesome. Well, I think that's great. And I think that's like a super simple way that people can just quickly go through all their sites and say, is my name, address, phone number, and I think hours is also a good one there. Is all of that correct across the board? That's awesome.
And website too. I mean, again, there's a lot of other things, but it started with NAP, name, address, and phone number, and then there's other additional information that they're going to look at too.
All right, perfect. So we want to think about when we're thinking about what are our steps that we can take in terms of making ourselves look appealing to Google? So when people are looking for someone like us, Google wants to put us first. As Deandra mentioned, name, address, phone number, make sure it's consistent. So it's pretty easy to go through your websites, all your social profiles, and make sure your name, address, phone number, website, all of that information is the same across the board, because like Deandra was saying, Google wants, people who are searching to like using their search, and keep using it. So they keep using Google, and we want ourselves to look appealing to Google. So yes, checking all of your websites, anywhere you're listed, any social media profiles, just to make sure that it's consistent across the board. So Google's not wondering like, should I put you in the list or should I not? We want to make sure that they're thinking yes, or the algorithm thinking yes. And we also have this really cool tool that's free that you can use. And you can also, I can share out this link and make sure everyone can grab it. But there's a tool called Moz Local. And you can, add a little bit of information, to search for your local business and see how you're doing. It's going to tell you if any information doesn't match or if it's not filled out, right? Because not matching isn't the only thing. It's, hey, I didn't enter my website on, my social account. So it has like my name and my address, but the website's not there. So it's not quite sure if we're exactly who we say we are. And that will be highlighted for us. So if we do a Moz Local listing, we can check our score and see how we're doing. And it's going to point out what we might be missing. It'll also list some other areas and sites that maybe you should jump on and make sure that you're active on. But it's just a great way to quickly check, like, how am I doing when it comes to my NAP? And is it looking consistent? So this is like number one, shouldn't take too long, but an easy way to make sure that the information that we have about our business that's out there on the internet is all accurate, it's all consistent, so that Google's more interested in putting us up there. So the next thing, and again, we're talking a lot about Google. We're getting into how we can make sure that Google likes us. And a big factor in that is going to be Google My Business. And this is a free resource that Google offers. And you might be somewhat familiar with like what it looks like, but not realize, maybe you haven't realized that this is something that you can actually get into and manage and get involved with. To get started with Google My Business, it starts out with, you get to set up your own free business profile. And maybe you've done this and maybe you've like claimed your business, but there's a lot more things that you have available to you with your Google business profile. But it is an area where you can, customize, you can claim, hey, this is my business, add your information, make sure it's accurate and consistent. So all of the NAP features are there, but you can also do things like add photos and, make sure that you're using it to its biggest potential. So again, it's super free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's also pretty easy to use. I think most people are familiar with Google searching and using Google tools. Maybe you've written a Google review before, but what's nice is, again, you get to kind of personalize this and manage it for yourself. So not only is that just a good thing to make sure things are consistent and accurate, but it's also going to make Google like us more because we're using their tools. Now, from the first point is claiming it. So you get to set yours up, or maybe you already have it existing. So you just need to be like, this is mine. Do a little bit more personalization. And then there's also the element where we can manage it. So you can make sure that you're keeping in touch and showing that you have a pulse. The other nice thing about Google My Business is that they have tools for us to use. They have free resources. They also have the ability to schedule a call and work with someone who can check out your listing and help you out and give you some pointers and tips. So these are, again, free tools that we should be taking advantage of. So I do want to check in with Deandra again to see why she thinks that Google My Business can be super powerful when it comes to local SEO. So I know you're a big fan of Google My Business and the power that can have. Can you tell me a little bit more about why this tool can be so useful for a local fitness studio?
Right. So Google is a monster, and a lot of people know that, but a lot of people also don't know just how big of a monster they are. So I actually did a search this morning on Google, shocker. 91% of all searches worldwide happen on Google. So Google My Business is a Google tool. So they use information from that listing in their search results, especially for local search results, a lot. So that's kind of just the first thing. And the second thing, it's easy. I love easy tools. I don't think that complexity is necessary. And, free and easy is definitely my jam. So Google does a really good job at like pulling information from those profiles and incorporating it into local listings. So for example, if somebody does a local search for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms in my area, it's going to pull information from local Google My Business listings, and it's going to show things like your map pack. So the map pack is the map that actually shows up, and it'll show like the top 3 or 4 most prominent businesses in the area that are relevant to whatever the search is. So again, if you've got a Google My Business profile that is being used regularly because you're responding to reviews, you're aggregating reviews from your customers, you're posting on your Google My Business listing, those are all things that Google likes because again, it's a good user experience. That's something that is going to be beneficial. And also a lot of people are searching on mobile devices. So I am a huge fan of taking up as much screen space as possible. So if you've got a very prominent local business, not only will you be able to show up in the map pack, which takes us up almost the entire screen in just a regular search, but if you're prominent enough to be in that 1, 2, 3 position, you're showing up more than once. And anytime you have more opportunities to show up higher, that's huge because most of the time people are clicking on the top, I think it's 10 positions in search. So basically, if you're not there, you almost don't exist. And Google My Business is a very easy and free way to just make sure that you're showing up when you need to show up.
Awesome. So hopefully we've gotten a feel for, NAP and Google My Business. And then the last thing is kind of focused just still around Google and how this can help us out is talking about customer reviews. So it's really important. I know it can be really hard and uncomfortable to ask for a review, but talk to your instructors, think about yourself, especially if you're an instructor, and say, if my people are coming in, if I have regulars who check out my classes or people who come to the same class every week, week in, week out, they like what I offer. They are fond of it. They spend money on it. They care about it. You probably have a pretty core group of people that are like, yes, love your business. We'll keep coming. And those are definitely people to highlight and talk to and ask and say, hey, if you're having a good time, if you're enjoying these classes, like we'd love to, get the word out. So if you could add a review for us on Google, that would be great. You can also use your tools in Punch Pass and send emails out. You can send an email out to a particular class. You could have you could run a report for anyone who's taken a class for a specific instructor and say, hey, if you're enjoying classes with Jane, like please talk about it, because I love a customer review where it's like they name somebody, they talk about the instructor and how much they like their classes. Like it's all good information, and you can use the tools, and your clients, your regulars are a tool for you to help get new business. So you can always ask for reviews. It's also really important to respond to those reviews. We're going to listen to Deanna to talk a little bit about that as well. But even if we might feel only prompted to respond to one or the other, you might feel like, oh, I just have to defend myself if I get a negative review. Or you might say like, I just only want to thank people if they write something positive, but we're going to think about responding to both. And then I really recommend scheduling a regular check-in. So maybe putting it on your calendar, like once a month, just go into your reviews and take a look and see what people are saying and make sure you respond. Um, so that you can keep on top of it and make sure that again, you're showing Google that you're active. I wanted to show the map pack again here because you'll notice that, the top three, which is the things that show up really high up and take up a lot of your screen, as Deandra mentioned, these all have like snippets from reviews. And that's a really good sign. So that's something that we want to, again, think about moving forward, consider asking for and looking out for, because it can really help our SEO. So let's check in with Deandra about customer reviews. How can customer reviews and engaging with positive and negative reviews impact SEO?
So they could do things they could do this in a couple of ways. One, customer reviews are something that Google will add to a search result if they think it's going to be beneficial to the user. So in general, it's just good practice to make sure that you're asking customers for reviews. And even if they're not good reviews, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Those are going to be opportunities for you to improve. And it looks honest. Sometimes I get really skeptical when I see a business that has all 5-star reviews, because there's no such thing as perfect. So I always ask, are you only aggregating from people that are, going to give you a good review? Or are you, creating reviews that are a little more realistic for what's actually going on in business? The second thing is they take up more space. So I have mentioned this before. I'm all about taking up as much real estate in a search result as possible. So if you have reviews and Google thinks it's going to be beneficial, that's a couple extra, half a centimeter on a mobile device that is going to take up that space. And that could mean the difference between, your competitor showing up because one, maybe you have more reviews on Google My Business, so you show up higher in a map pack, or two, if they're listing those reviews below just a normal search result, maybe your competitor is pushed down a little bit further because you're taking up that extra space. So I'm a huge fan of that. And three, it's just good to get reviews because that's good business practice. Like not everything is about what the search results are going to show. So having those reviews shows Google that your business has a pulse, and responding to those reviews is definitely a good thing. Not only because it shows that you have a pulse, but it shows that you're a good business owner, and you're able to communicate with your customers and get feedback, and always find ways to do better at your passion.
Yeah, I love how it feels like there are a lot of small things you can do that can positively impact your local SEO, but are also good things that we would recommend businesses do anyway.
Yeah, I mean, SEO doesn't have to be scary. It tends to be this kind of like black hole that people don't really know what to do or where to start. And I definitely feel that. Like I've been in situations where, you don't know what you don't know. And if you're learning a new thing, it's difficult to know where do you start with this. And this is just meant to be lots of smaller steps that you can take to just, get your feet wet with local SEO, not become an overnight expert.
Excellent. So I'm excited about that because, yeah, I think that it makes sense for us as business owners to, reach out to our clients, communicate with them online, interact, and show that we're up to date and we're paying attention to the things that are going on around us. So when it comes to like taking that first step and just dipping our toes into the water with local SEO, hopefully we've kind of come out of this with like an idea of a checklist, some small steps we can take, free steps we can take to, make sure that we're moving ourselves up in terms of getting served as a Google result. So the first thing we can do is, do the Moz local listing search. Again, we'll make sure that you get that link so you can see where maybe you have some holes, some inconsistency, and make sure that we update that for our NAP. So name, address, phone number, I'll throw, hours and website on there as well, making sure all of that is consistent across the board. Claiming and adding information to Google My Business so that, again, Google sees that we have a pulse, that we're interacting with a Google tool. We can use more of their resources, again, that are free. We love free. And, make sure, again, we're checking in, we're managing that, we're making sure that our business is highlighted in that way. And then also working on, growing some customer reviews. And you might not want to spam your entire contact list at once. I think, Google kind of notices when like, they don't have any reviews. They don't have any reviews. They have 30 reviews. They don't have any reviews. Over time, it's probably good to kind of think about like, okay, like maybe this week we reach out to these people. Next week we reach out to these people and kind of stagger that a little bit to help you out there. Again, and have it look a little bit more organic. But it's still a good thing to do, and maybe, have people mention at the end of every class and say, hey, if you've enjoyed the class, we'd love it if you wouldn't mind, going on Google and writing a review and letting people know how you feel about our classes and what we have to offer. So those are like our basic steps to just get started with an SEO strategy, a local SEO strategy. However, once we do that, you might be interested in taking it to the next level and some other steps that you can take to improve your local SEO and make sure that you're getting up there and getting in front of people. Maybe you're interested in some things where you could spend a little bit of money and hopefully see some returns on that. And, that's absolutely something that you can take a look at. And, we have a couple blog posts about this. So I'm going to add that to the chat now. So that you can take a look and kind of take a look at that. We'll send it out again with the recording. This is like a local SEO checklist for fitness studios and businesses. So it's going to cover some of the things we covered here in the webinar, like your NAP, like your Google My Business, but we also cover some other things that you can do, things you can add to your website to make your website have information that'll get Google interested in putting your website up there, putting your business up there. Oh, I realized that was, thank you for letting me know that didn't go out to everybody. Here's the link. I see that's now sent out to everyone. So that should be good. But yeah, there's other tools that you can use and other things that are available to you that get into a little, there might be some more technical steps, as you start to look, kind of go down the local SEO rabbit hole. But again, we think it's possible for everyone to start out with some of these basic steps, these beginner free options that you have. And then if you're starting to feel like, okay, I'm getting a handle on this, I can do a little bit more, I can handle taking on a little bit more, check out that checklist, kind of get you into some more things. And then we're also going to have, keep an eye out on our blog. It's punchpass.com/blog. Keep an eye out because we have another blog post coming, which is getting into even more advanced SEO practices. So if you're like, this is a lot, I think I just have to start here, that's fine. Start out with just doing the couple things we recommended. But if you're like, I think I can take the next step, we've got some blog posts, we've got some recommendations and checklists coming your way. So you can, again, take the next step, and you have, kind of our team and our expertise helping you make these changes. So I want to throw out here, I think we did get a question. Okay, so I did get a question about someone is getting some calls from, claiming that they're Google checking in to see if their schedule is up to date. I don't think that's actually coming from Google. I would hazard a guess that that's probably not an actual call from Google directly. I think they're interested in when people are searching for you, they want to make sure that your information is accurate and that all of that, but I don't think they're doing regular calls out to businesses. So I would say maybe screen some calls and possibly think about getting your phone number on some do not call lists. But yeah, if you're interested in like talking to someone at Google, then I would definitely recommend going into Google My Business. Once you've claimed your business, you can then schedule a one-on-one call with them, so that you can talk to them about like, what can I do? Take a look at my account. Is there anything that needs to be updated, or is there anything that could be better? Because there's definitely, they're the experts, and it'd be great, to schedule a call with them. Oh, of course, no problem. Let's see. Had a question from somebody about a more general PunchPass blog for music. I'm not quite sure exactly what you're talking about. If you could let me know a little bit more information, like music, to use in class. Oh, are you, I'm wondering, it's okay if you're not a fitness business. So in general at PunchPass, we work with a lot of fitness businesses. So, a lot of our systems kind of built for that. But in reality, PunchPass is a tool that can be used by anyone who's offering classes. So, if you're a music teacher and you teach classes, a lot of the things that we've been talking about for, the SEO and what you are and what you're offering, it's just a little bit different in the sense that the Google search terms will be different. So people might be looking for music class near me, guitar classes near me in my city. And so the search terms in Google are going to be different for who you are in your business, but the elements of what you want to have for your business are going to be the same. Because again, when people are searching for that on Google, making sure that your name, address, phone number is correct. If you claim yourself on Google Business, that should be accurate. So again, it doesn't necessarily matter what service you're offering. What matters here is that your information is set up so that when people are looking for someone like you or a service that you offer, you're going to show up first. So again, all of this can be applied to any type of business. I mean, heck, all of this could be applied to a pizza place. But what we're looking at is, what are some of these basic SEO tools that you can use as a small business? So again, regardless of what you're offering, it can be music classes, could be massage therapy, could be tutoring, whatever you're offering, as long as that, you're making sure that your information about your account is accurate across your websites, across your social media platforms. This information should be still really relevant to you. All right. Okay, well, if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to throw anything in the chat. Happy to talk about it. And if, but if you aren't quite sure right now and you want to maybe check out the blog post and that might prompt some questions, always feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to the support team at support@punchpass.com. We can definitely, even if you're reaching out with like a question about marketing or what you might want to do, or, something that you want us to take a look at with regards to your business, please feel free to reach out to us there, because we can definitely help. And if you have a PunchPass account or you're on any PunchPass website, our direct chat support is in the bottom right-hand corner. So that's great. Oh, this is amazing. So some people are already like looking at the actionable steps, and it looks like somebody might have found like a imposter Facebook page that's, not related to their business. So that's something that's really good to know. Like definitely, this is great. It's something where you can, take these steps, and hopefully that will help you figure out, what you need to do and how you can update and change your online presence so that you'll get highlighted and you'll move up the ranks on the Google search. So I'm so happy to hear that people are already taking steps. That's awesome. So if there aren't any other questions, or again, you can reach out to us any other time. I just want to thank you all so much for your time today, for checking in with us and hanging out. Hopefully you'll check out that blog post, make sure that we send this recording out. So if you forget anything, you know, that'll still be there, and you can walk back through it and check out our blog. And if anyone has any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to us. But thank you so much for coming. This was really fun for me. I want to thank Deandra for being, sort of my guest on this webinar. I think is really helpful to hear from somebody who is the marketing expert coming from Punch Pass. So we want to thank you all so much. If you have any questions, again, reach out, and hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, and we'll catch you soon.